Hey guys, it's Carrie. Welcome back. I'm here to do my flip through for October daily, the first 7 days. Remember, I am following along with Pink Oddbirds Challenge for October daily 2019 and working in through and inside of Alternative Junk Journals group over on Facebook. So remember, I am doing a Midori style daily, and so this is just my first signature, and I did decide to alter up my cover from what I originally had, and so I have some of my watercolor. I've got a little Wicked pumpkin here that I stitched around, and then I have a little Wicked. This is just a Tim Holtz little ephemera piece. So inside of the challenge, April did say that we can, alter things and kind of make it our own, which is what I did to a couple of them, which I'm sure surprises none of you. Anyway, so the first one was, what critter are you most afraid of in real life? Well, I changed mine to character, and so my character is vampires. Now, side note. As an adult, I'm not really afraid of vampires. I actually quite like them. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I kind of want to be one myself. And so I was playing around with my Snapchat filter and made myself into a vampire as well. And then I just took some paper and made a little tuck spot. Danger signals. She felt dimly that the end was not yet. So I just made a little pocket here. This is a CD sleeve, and I've got some bat shakers in there for October the 31st. And then if you look here, there's a vampire that's hanging out beside or inside on the back side of my paper. Originally, these two sheets were flipping themselves. I decided to attach them together, and then this is just one of my creep dolls. And then on the back side, I have more vampires. So the backstory of this is just, long story short, when I was a kid, I was totally afraid of vampires, and I couldn't go to sleep at night until the vent kicked on in the house, like the heat vent. And in my head, and please note that I do have a wild imagination, but in my head, when the heat vent would kick on, it would suck out the vampire from my bedroom, and then I could go to sleep. So crazy that things like that you remember from childhood and they stick with you like glue. So I just put a couple of vampires in here. These are little zombies that they're going to feast upon. And then I have a spooky, and then I have a vampire back here. This little flip is just the prompts because I wanted to be sure to include that in my book. So I just washi-sheeted in. So the next prompt was make a recipe for monster stew. For me, rather than doing monster stew, I opted for witch's brew. So I have the witching hour. I have myself as the witch. I have Newt and toe of frog, wool of bat, tongue of dog. For charm of terrible trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. And that is Shakespeare. I made a coffin with some little creepy kiddos who are watching this witch make the brew, and they don't even realize that it's possible that they'll end up part of it when the night is over, but they're just watching. So all I did is make a coffin. I put tea-dyed paper on the inside of this. I'm not actually going to take it out, but you can write on the inside. I put some leaves on the top, and then this is a creepy sticker that I have had actually for a long time. So I was excited to be able to use it. And then on the back side, I have my actual witch's brew and just a little spell of a witch poem and a big sticker that says, "You say witch like it's a bad thing." But here's my little brew. This is just ledger paper that I sprayed with dilutions. 8 dried bugs, 2 bat wings, 3 mice tails, 12 candy corns, 1 bullfrog, 11 ghost eyes, and 5 locks of hair. Should we try it? Do we dare? Curdled milk and devil's plant makes us all begin to chant. So this carefully slips into the pocket, and then I just put this little leaf in there because it had red, kind of like that dilutions spray blood that I was playing with. The next prompt was, what are your favorite Halloween colors? Well, they're all my favorite. I couldn't just pick one because I use them all to decorate. And so what I did is I took my little Tim Holtz stamp pads that look like these little baby ones. And I just took them and twisted them onto my page because I wanted to represent all the colors that I love of Halloween. So, of course, black, given, but green, orange, and purple. But I also love the yellows, and then anything that's like a brick or a blood red is what I tend to lean into. And then I've got black pumpkins all up the side. I ripped some music paper. This is just parchment paper that I actually tea dye on, so I wanted to put a few of those in there because they make good sound. I have a little evidence tag. And then the back side, just more of my colors over here. This is me with my monster hat that I sometimes wear on Halloween just for fun. Under the moon, makeup and wigs. And then I just jotted a few notes to myself about decorating for Halloween, because that's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, the next prompt was about candy corns. Make a candy corn yourself, and so I did. I made 2. This is just pattern paper that I glued onto my tea dye paper, and then I tried to draw a candy corn. It was totally freehand, which I'm sure you can tell, but I did my best. And this is just burlap from the dollar store. It just comes in a roll like ribbon, and then I stitched around it. And then I had some little chipboard stickers that I added. I liked this. I just think that's pretty for fall. And then on the back side, I have this for a photo mat, so photos to come. But this is another one that I made. I took little treat bags because I liked the texture of the, the paper. It's kind of a waxy and it's really thin. I didn't want to, I'm trying not to do a ton of bulk because, I'm going to end up with an alligator mouth journal. I guarantee it. But anyway, this paper was thinner, and so I went with it. But I just ripped it and then glued it and stitched around it. The question was, do you like candy corn? It's okay. I can take it or leave it. Would I ever buy it? No, never. But will I eat a few pieces if it's on a table? Sure. It's just a weird candy. I don't really know what to say about it, but I do think it's pretty. So I like maybe the way that it looks on a table. But you can't eat a lot of it because it's weird. Okay, the next prompt was make a jack-o'-lantern. So this is Trick Happy. And with your jack-o'-lantern, tell a little story. So here's Trick, and he has a little charm that says trick or treat. His stem is actually 2 burlap leaves that I made him. And his little story, I just took the word pumpkin and gave him some words. So Trick Happy is playful. He's upbeat, magical, patient, kind-hearted, imaginative, and nurturing. And then here's his name tag. And then this is just an envelope that I turned inside out, made a pocket. And then I just have a little card that I stuck in there. Eventually, I'd like to put maybe some pictures in here so I can have them as the see-through for those little windows. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. The next prompt was a challenging one, and it was write a poem that rhymes. So here you go. It's not very good, you guys, but it was funny to do. And then here's my vampire, because I wrote it about him. In the dark of the night, you'll feel a sharp bite. The vampire dances in pure delight. You are frozen in fear. The end, it is near. Your entire future became so unclear. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. It's a Halloween story, so nobody dies. Again, just fun, but, you can see. Not my forte. Here I just have Over My Dead Body. Oh, and I put some of this old vintage lace that I picked up about a month ago at that art salvage place that's here in my town. And I thought it was perfect because I love the jagginess of these edges. So I have that in here. Here's my center signature. I did Hocus Pocus. It has nothing to do with the daily prompts. But when it comes to movies every year, I have a list of movies that I love to watch. Hocus Pocus is one of them. And so I took an envelope and I worked with my cupcake holders. And so the spider webs are all cupcake holders that I just ripped, glued, stitched. And then this Hocus Pocus I cut out from a piece of scrapbook paper that I had. That's just a little Tim Holtz ephemera piece. I put some tea dyed paper behind it. Or actually, I think that's coffee dyed paper. And then I just made a pocket over here that says toxic. So that was what I did for my center. And then on the back side, I put a poem that I actually love and did not write, but it's called The Night of Halloween. I'm sure many of you have heard this before. The harvest moon fills the sky. A wicked witch goes flying by. Ghosts and goblins, skeletons too, moaning and groaning, waiting for you. Black cats prowl the graveyard plots, witches cook in cauldron pots. Cemetery ghouls roam the ground, not one open grave is found. Tombstones are an eerie sight, shadows dance in full moonlight. The haunted house on the hill, walk in there and get a chill. Jack-o'-lanterns, eyes so bright, trick-or-treaters scream in fright. It's a time of year like you've never seen, tonight's the night of Halloween. I love that poem. And this is just more sprayed paper that I did. Now, the last prompt that I have was, what are your favorite snacks for when you are watching a movie? And so, I couldn't pick one because it all just becomes a snack accident. And that means that your intention is pure and you just want to have one little snack, and then it's like, what do we do? So in my head, I was like, okay, Midnight Madness, munchies when you're watching a movie. So this is Munchie. Munchie is a tag ghost that I made. I gave him some shakers. He's got pumpkin eyes and just a little bling for his mouth. These guys are Nightmare Before Christmas kids. And while they're walking around with all of their, tools and such to get crazy, in my head, I was like, yeah, that's kind of how people come trolling into the living room with all their snacks because they're getting ready to hunker down for a movie. So that's what I was really going with. And then I just took 2 dyed glassine bags and made pockets. And then I had this pretty little purple trim, and purple's one of my colors that I love, so I wanted to be sure that I added it in. And then Munchie flips out, and he is just a pocket that I attached in here. These are all sticker borders that I have. They're Martha Stewart, but they're pretty sturdy stickers, and so I put those in there. We've got candy corn over here, and there's just little candies on this side. Put some Project Life cards in here, made a pocket, put some pumpkins, and then I made a guest check with all my faves. Midnight Munchies. I won't read you the whole list, but pretty much anything you could imagine that's going to be a nice snack has probably landed and made my list. So there we go. That's my first 7. My plan is I'm just going to do one video with all of the prompts together, just because that's what works best for me and for my schedule. And so I'm excited. April's going to be putting out the next set of prompts this week, and so I will plan to make a video for the next round the following Sunday. I guess it's going to be my plan. So I'm having a lot of fun, you guys. I hope that you are too. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll see you on the flip side. Have a good day. Bye.